good morning from the beautiful San Francisco Bay Area. How is everybody this morning? Welcome to Basketball Rules Expert Live here from the A Better Official World Headquarters. I'm here with my elite tech team, Gus and Oliver, making all of the things happen here on the YouTubes and on Facebook. I think I'm on Facebook as well on this one. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Yes, we are getting going this morning. Fix that. Early morning struggles here in the beautiful San Francisco Bay Area. Hope everyone is doing well. I'm going to turn that on. Look at that. Look at these graphics. Holy cow. And we got the... will we have a Christmas tree in the shot? Yes. Yes, we will. Awesome. How is everybody this morning? I had a doubleheader last night, 2 games. Yeah, things went pretty well. Pretty well indeed. Stan Bickler is in the house. What is I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Where's my shorty? Oh, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Stan in the house from Pittsburgh. Good to see you, Stan. I'm going to stretch this out just a little bit. Chris Janish. Okay, got to get that work in. It's a busy time of year. I thought I had tonight blocked, but it turns out not for one assigner, and he gave me a game. Snuck it in there on me. Leave that there. Huh. Rick in the house. Mike Myers, good to see you. Good morning from Alaska, Mike Goodwin. Good to see you. Oh, the season just finally starting? Wow. Wow. We've been going in earnest here for a while. Washington, Missouri. Oh, I did not know that, Jason. I think that means I was on time. Almost. Les O'Connor Jr. Indeed, crushing the over. Is the fix in? Is the fix in? That's the question. Billy Mack in the house from that small little corner of the Constitution State. We are 32 degrees. Wait a minute. I don't have my my weather bug. There we go. I think that's pretty accurate here in the beautiful outskirts of the San Francisco Bay Area. Ooh. Good morning, Greg. Okay, I'm getting my stuff together. Darwin, bringing the Go Blue energy, as always. Here's what I want to do. I want to do that. I want to move this out of the way. There's no reason for that to be there. How's everything looking? Everything looks pretty good. How's the sound? Everything good? And did my when I post this, hold on a second. Didn't show up. Oh well. Runs, rides, reps. New official from Pennsylvania. Fantastic. Fantastic. We're going to do backcourt rules today. And one of the things we just try to accomplish is develop an understanding and confidence so that when plays happen on the court, especially as a new official, we're not like thinking, oh my gosh, I should have called something, I shouldn't have called something, I did call it and I'm not sure, etc. We want to build confidence in rules knowledge. We did have a rainy spell here in the Bay Area. Corey jumping in from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I will be in South Carolina in a couple of weeks. Going to visit my son for Christmas in the Mount Pleasant area. All right, thanks, Les, for the sound check. You never can trust my tech team may be asleep. At the switch? No, just asleep. The doctor's in the house. Dr. Phil is here. Fantastic. Okay. We are checking all the things. Give me just a second. Wait a minute. Let me do this right. Why do I do that? Just because I can. Huh. All right. So I worked on that for a while, and everything looks a little different than when I set it up. Andre Phillips, good to hear from you. Where are you from, Andre? I do not recall. Well, let's just take a look further back in the chat. Bellevue, Michigan. Go blue. Maybe? I don't know. Michigan. Wait, what's... Anthony in the house. My state abbreviations, especially all those M's. There's too many M's. State abbreviations. All right. I'm going to get started without delay. But we have to think it through. All right. It's a mystery to me why that craps out on me sometimes, but it does. What are you going to do? The gremlins here in the studio of A Better Official World Headquarters. I've got that. Sound is good. We are live. Backcourt rules. National Federation of High School rules can sometimes befuddle us. But today we're going to look at backcourt plays, get plays right, so we can take to the court. Tell you what, stick around. Greetings, welcome back to the Basketball Rules Expert. We're going to look at play scenarios so we can be better as basketball officials. Let's get started today with our very first scenario. Let's go with our first play scenario. A1's missed try rebounds directly into Team A's backcourt, where A2 gains control. The officials rule this a legal play. Were the officials correct? Yes or no? A simple play to start. A1's missed try rebounds directly to the backcourt. Well, that was interesting. And then Team A goes into the backcourt and recovers it, right? If we've had team control in the front court, which would be necessary for a backcourt violation, team control ends in one of three fashions, and one of them is the release of a try. So on the release of the try, there's no longer team control. Ball rebounding and bouncing into the backcourt. Team A may legally go into the backcourt and collect the ball. So in this simple play scenario that we will see often, were our officials I got you. So in this simple scenario where the officials ruled this to be illegal play, were our officials correct? Yes or no? Yes. Yes, they were. In the absence of team control, we cannot have a backcourt violation. Legal play by rule. Got it. All right, let's move on to our next play scenario. Okay. That's there. That's there. That's there. All right, let's move on. Next play scenario. A1 is dribbling in the backcourt. As A1 nears the division line, they first bounce the ball in the front court, then step into the front court with the right foot. Then A1 backs out and continues to dribble in the backcourt. The officials rule this to be a backcourt violation on Team A. Were the officials correct? Yes or no? So A1 is dribbling in the backcourt. A1 is dribbling in the backcourt. Something's behaving oddly. A1 is dribbling in the backcourt, moving from backcourt to front court. They dribble the ball in the front court, one of their feet in the front court, and then rather than continue to move into the front court, then back into the backcourt. And the officials rule this to be a backcourt violation. We know there's going to be an explosion of energy in the gymnasium when this play occurs, as people involved in the game, the stakeholders in the game, are not, unlike us, they are not basketball rules experts. They just know something unusual happened near the division line, so it's got to be, the opponents say this, it's got to be a backcourt violation, right? But in this instance, by rule, a player dribbling from the backcourt to the front court must establish those 3 points, right? The 3 points that many officials often refer to erroneously when we're thinking about establishing front court status as a player with a basketball, right? It applies specifically to a dribbler who has backcourt status, moving to the front court is not considered to be, the ball is not considered to have front court status until all 3 points of the dribbler are in the front court. Okay? So even though the ball bounced in the front court, in this scenario, the ball does not gain front court status until the player dribbling the ball gains front court status, and that would be with all 3 points in the front court. So in this instance, where the officials ruled this to be a backcourt violation, were our officials correct? Yes or no? No, not on this one. Incorrect by rule on this play. Right. Understanding the 3 points only involves a dribbler moving from the backcourt to the front court is key to our understanding of how to adjudicate a play such as this. All right. A1 is making a throw-in along the sideline in Team A's backcourt. A1 makes the throw-in towards A2, who is standing in Team A's front court. B1 deflects the throw-in pass after it is released. A2 jumps from Team A's front court, catches the ball in the air, and lands in the backcourt. The officials rule this to be a legal play. Were the officials correct? Yes or no? Probably the most common test question we see. Any test you ever take with basketball rules is going to include this question. I have that animated. I don't even know. Right, because it brings we have to have an understanding of the 3 restarts in the game of basketball. One of them is the throw-in. Rules and restrictions related to the throw-in end when the throw-in ends. So in this play, we have a situation where there is an exception in the rule that allows a player to jump from the front court during a throw-in, catch the ball in the air, and land in the backcourt. They can have 1 foot in the front court, 1 foot in the backcourt. It doesn't matter which rhythm their feet land, first front court, then back. It doesn't matter. There's an exception in the rule during a throw-in. But in this instance, the throw-in had ended on the touch by the defensive player. So the exception no longer applies, and the legality of the play no longer applies, as this is a violation by rule. So in this instance, where the officials ruled this to be a legal play, were our officials correct? Yes or no? No. No, they were not. I got to fix something. Hold on a second. I'm going to do 2 things here. Hold on a second. Here. Hey, thanks for joining us today for Basketball Rules Expert. My name's Greg Alston with A Better Official. I've been a high school basketball official here in the San Francisco Bay Area for over a decade. Consider myself knowledgeable about the rules of basketball. And of course, this show is all about helping you on a journey to becoming a basketball rules expert as well. Okay. Get that recorded. Not sure why I forgot to do that in there. Dun, dun. Ah, okay. I got you. I got you. Working with some stuff, some new stuff here. Hey, before we move further, I've got a group of tremendous show supporters who help fuel our broadcast. Let's take a look at the show supporter big board today. Jay Severson, Chris Hirano, Mike Wong, Paul Clay, and Mike Goodwin from Alaska. Much appreciated and much love. You want to support the show, there'll always be a link in the show notes below, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to put one up above. Awesome. Let's move forward now with our very next play scenario. During a throw-in by A1 from the end line by Team A's basket, the throw-in is touched by A2 before it goes across the division line, where it is recovered by A3. The officials rule a backcourt violation on Team A. Were the officials correct? Yes or no? Super common question for new officials. This play occurs in their game, and again, energy rises in the building, thinking something that's got to be something, ref, right? Where a player throw in from anywhere on the court is touched by a player in the front court. We know there's team control during a throw-in. The ball's there, the last to touch in the front court, and then the first to touch in the back court. That's got to be something, right? Except no, it doesn't, right? In order to have a backcourt violation, we must have team control on the court and then front court status. Last to touch in the front court and first to touch in the backcourt. The team control that's given during a throw-in is only for the administration of fouls, not for the administration of 3 seconds, backcourt, 10-second count on the court, etc. So in this instance, where the officials ruled this to be a backcourt violation, were our officials correct? No, they weren't, right? Got this play wrong. It's something that can catch us by surprise if we're not paying attention, but legal play by rule. All right. What a mess. We got in our rhythm, getting our rhythm. Yes, Greg. The gremlins are strong. They're strong. That is called correct, Darwin. Hit the like button during the live stream. Helps us, amplify the live stream, get more people on. I've been a few plays in. I apologize. Anthony, I assume we're talking about the dribbler from backcourt to front court. We need all 3 points. And it's only during a dribble, like Billy Mack says, and that's the key thing. Many officials just, as officials, we what's the purpose of this show, right? As expressed, is so we can take the rules with us onto the court. Can we take every single rule with us in an encyclopedic fashion, every single case play in an encyclopedic fashion that we can refer to? Oh, that's 6.4.1 situation B, coach, right? We have to take with us a shorthand onto the court. Things that fundamental concepts, definitions, etc., that we could take with us onto the court. And something that many officials do is, well, you can't have front court status till all 3 points. They take that erroneously and apply it to other situations. A dribbler moving from the backcourt to the front court must have all 3 points in order for the ball to gain front court status. And that's a little bit non-intuitive because the ball has bounced in the front court. The ball's status is where it was last touched by a player or last touched by the court, right? So, a challenge. A challenge. I'll come back to plays a little bit. Yeah, I'm disconnected. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is that Randy Wilson in the chat? Better late than never? Indeed. Oh. Referring to the ball that was tipped by the defense, Chuck Kazulis in the house. Good to see you, Chuck. Interesting. Darwin. Keeping the game. Huh. Oh, 21 likes. That's awesome. And Chicagoland is getting together in the chat. Okay. All right. All right, let's move forward. I'm going to do that. I'm going to remember to do that. Got to have the screen has to be clear in order to move forward. A1 catches the throw-in pass with 1 foot on the floor in Team A's front court and the other foot not touching the floor. The non-pivot foot then comes down in the back court. The officials rule a backcourt violation on Team A. Were the officials correct? Yes or no? Well, one of our challenges here is we know that there's an exception during a throw-in that allows a player receiving a throw-in pass to catch the ball in the air and make a landing such as is intimated by this, where 1 foot lands in the front court, then the other foot lands in the back court. But important to understand that that rule's exception, 9-9-3, only applies to a player who catches the ball in the air. If a player is on the floor and catches the ball with front court status and then steps into the backcourt, that is a backcourt violation by rule. So in this instance, where the officials, oh, I see. I'm going to go back. Why? Because I can. So in this instance, where the officials ruled a backcourt violation, I see. Okay. I don't want this cleared. It will clear automatically. So in this situation where the officials ruled a backcourt violation, were the officials correct? Yes, they were. The exception does not apply in this instance. The player had front court status when they caught the ball and then stepped into the backcourt, thus creating a backcourt violation by rule. That's pretty good. Ay. I have more automations here than I remembered. Indeed, Billy Mac. Wake them up. They are needed. We're gaining momentum, though, right? Sometimes we start the game, we miss a call early. Maybe we I wish I hadn't put that hand check into the game. Wasn't enough. And then we settle down and get into a groove. And I'm confident that's what we have here on the play. Joe Raza is in the house. Back in Missouri after Florida. That's got to be a shocker. Ooh. I think we're a little disconnected. Papa Les has the correct ruling. Oh, okay. Excellent. So Gabe was thinking no 3 points in the front court. And again, this is a common situation where officials think that the 3 points applies in situations where it does not. Just remember that backcourt to front court, dribbling the basketball, 3 points apply. In no other instance does 3 points apply. If we could take that on the court, then we are strong. I am here, and we are taking a look at our very next play. A1 is dribbling in his or her backcourt and throws a pass to the front court. While standing in Team A's front court, A2 touches the ball and deflects it back to Team A's backcourt, where it touches the floor. A2 recovers in the backcourt. The officials rule this to be a legal play. Were the officials correct? Yes or no? Okay, so A1 dribbling in his or her backcourt. We have team control on the court, backcourt status, throws a pass to the front court. Teammate A2 touches the ball, let's say it caroms off their knee, and deflects it into the backcourt. It bounces on the floor, gains backcourt status, and A2 recovers in the backcourt. Is this a legal play? The officials ruled it to be a legal play. What are the things that we have to consider on a play, right? Team control is on the court, in the backcourt. The ball has backcourt status. How does the ball gain front court status? Touching the front court or touching a player or an official who has front court status would establish front court status. The fact that the ball bounces then in the backcourt is not a factor on this play because we have team control on the court, we have last to touch in the front court, and we have first to touch in the backcourt. So in this instance, where the officials ruled this to be a legal play, were the officials correct? Yes or no? No. No, they were not. This is a backcourt violation by rule. That's cool. That's cool. That's all automated. That whole sequence, moving between scenes. And I must have done when I was sleepier, so I didn't even remember I created that. That's awesome. I really like that. Okay. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do this. Oh. Well, something I said, Greg, at we had an association meeting, and we had people in the front of the room make declarative statements about what the correct adjudication of a play scenario was, and that their definitive statements were absolutely incorrect. And the association meeting, which has like 100 officials, nobody said anything. And, so when I was presenting after him, I admonished our group that when somebody makes a misstatement, in a setting where they are saying this is a declarative ruling. So let's say somebody on a YouTube show makes a declarative statement and they are incorrect. You have to call bullshit. You have to. You have to recognize that misinformation is being communicated, and we have to address that. Now, the people in the front of the room are the one at risk of misspeaking, right? Of saying that, well, that's legal, and meant to say that, well, that's illegal, right? Just because they're human beings, and in human beings misspeak on occasion, or they get confused in the moment with what they want to say. But we have to recognize that, first of all, that the people in the front of the room are the ones who will make errors of communication. But we have to always call it out. Hey, Speaker A, I know you meant to say this, but you did say this, and I just wanted to clarify. Because let's say 80% of the group knows that you've misspoken, But 20% of the group's like, oh, that's illegal? Okay. All right. Yeah, so that was my experience over the weekend. And of course, then I did my presentation, gave everybody an opportunity to say, hey. All right. So I'm going to turn that off. Team A is awarded a throw-in near the division line. A1's throw-in is deflected by B1. A2 jumps from Team A's front court, catches the ball in the air, and lands in the back court. The officials rule this a legal play as the throw-in exception applies. Were the officials correct? Yes or no? Team A, throw in near the division line. The throw-in pass deflected by an opponent. A2 jumps from Team A's front court, catches the ball in the air, and lands in the back court. The officials rule this a legal play because there is a throw-in exception. Were our officials correct? Yes or no? Okay, right? So we have a situation where there's a throw-in. There is a throw-in exception that applies during a throw-in, during a jump ball, and while on defense, allowing a player with front court status to jump into the air, catch the ball in the air, and make a normal landing and gain backcourt status in that instance. We know that exception applies, and the officials used that exception in this situation. But again, we need to know when the throw-in ends by rule. The exception applies during a throw-in. When does a throw-in start? A throw-in starts when the ball is at the disposal of the thrower. In the instance, sideline throw-in, we probably bounced the ball to the thrower. They caught the ball. The throw-in has started. When does the throw-in end? When the throwing team violates, when a player touches the ball out of bounds, or when a player touches the ball inbounds. Those are the three ways that a throw-in ends by rule. Did one of those three things occur on this play? Did a player touch the ball inbounds? Yes. At that instant, the throw-in has ended. The exception that applies during a throw-in no longer applies. So in this instance, where the officials ruled this to be a legal play because the exception applies, were the officials correct? Yes or no? No. No, they were not. The exception no longer applies. Understanding the fundamental concepts of when a throw-in starts, when a throw-in ends, when the rules and restrictions that apply during a throw-in end is critical to making correct adjudications on the court. Yeah. Do that. No, wait, I'm going to do that. Oh. Okay. Wow. Well, it's not really a political thing. It's just misinformation. And sometimes that misinformation is because I think we were talking about pregame dunk, right? So pregame dunk, what's the penalty? Well, everybody knows it's an indirect on the head coach, right? So they're carrying that rules knowledge onto the court. But of course it applies to the team member who dunked the ball. That team member receives a player technical, and the head coach, since all team members in that situation are bench personnel by rule, and the head coach is responsible for the behavior of bench personnel, the head coach receives an indirect technical foul as well. And with an indirect technical foul comes the loss of their privilege to stand and coach their team, right? And so some of these things in this meeting scenario were not expressed correctly. Let's just put it that way, right? So, but nobody said anything, and which is, you're a newer official and a voice of prominence, either a veteran official that you're working with makes a statement relating to the rules and proper adjudication of plays, and you're a new official, and it's like, that's not right, I don't think, but veteran gray-haired Greg made that statement, so it has to be correct, right? And this is a development process that occurs with young officials along the way. At some point, they say, no, I know what is correct, and I'm going to express the fact that what you said is incorrect, and we have to get these plays right, etc. And then once you get reps at doing that and doing that successfully, how can I tactfully say, actually in high school rules, we can often say to the veteran official, hey, I'm a new official, like I'm just learning, but I was in the rules book last night and I did see the case play that specifically says that the correct adjudication of this play would be this, right? And, that's a way that we can broach to maybe a more veteran partner that, actually, you are incorrect, sir. You are incorrect, without saying something less tactful, right? But as a new official, that is a process that you will go through. And once you gain the confidence with an understanding of the rules and the confidence that you can effectively communicate to your crew, especially in a game situation, right? Being willing to say, no, we're about to do this wrong. I know that it's wrong. I need to express myself. This is a legal play by rule, or the correct adjudication should be this, this, and this, and this, right? And being willing to express that on the court, allowing the crew to get plays right, having the confidence to do that, getting the reps in to do that, trying it, seeing what the response is. No, youngster, no, not tonight. You are wrong. You are wrong, right? We're going to do it this way, says your more veteran partner. Then you go back into the locker room after the game and you show them the case play and they say, oh, wow, I didn't know that, right? You're going to face that. You have to fight against that and fight for the game. It's always game, crew, you. If your crew is at risk of making a mistake for the game, we have to fight for it and step forward when the situation is appropriate. Yeah, Mike. So Mike has a great point. It's just like, basically, if you empower young officials to say, hey, wait a minute, that conflicts with my understanding of the rule, and not be, listen, speak when you're, don't speak until spoken to, youngster. We are the veterans on the crew, etc. If we encourage them to, if you think at any point in what we're doing that we're doing something incorrectly or we're unsure, slow down, express yourself, right? And then we can deal with it at that point. Sumahaki in the house. Look at that avatar. Some young athletic baller in that avatar. Look at that. Indeed, veterans aren't in the rules book as much as they need to be. Many veterans consider themselves to be a finished product because they've carried the rules with them onto the basketball court for years and years, possibly over a decade. And they have these cornerstones that they take with them and understandings. Unfortunately, sometimes the rules, the National Federation of High School Basketball rules change. Things change. Or maybe our depth of understanding was a little bit thinner than we thought. Great to see you in the chat, Sue. Awesome. Okay, I'm there. And if I go next play, let me try this. Antonio Stewart. Good to see you, Antonio. I'm going to press this button and see what happens. A1 inbounds the ball at the division line. A2 jumps from the front court, controls the ball in the air, and while still in the air, passes it to A3, who is in the backcourt. The officials rule a backcourt violation on Team A. Were the officials correct? Yes or no? Again, a throw-in scenario where we throw the ball, A2 jumps from the front court, and our brains say, here comes the exception, right? They jump in the front court, they catch the ball in the air, and then they pass the ball. Well, that's not in the exception. They pass the ball to a teammate who has backcourt status, okay? So in this instance, had that player simply landed in the backcourt and then passed the ball, we would have a legal play. But since the player caught the ball, ending the throw-in, the exception no longer applies. We have team control on the court. Pass the ball to a teammate. We have a player who has front court status. Contacting the ball has front court status. Ball's passed to a teammate who has backcourt status. We have team control on the court with the catch. We have last to touch front court, first to touch backcourt. We have a backcourt violation by rule. So in this instance where the officials ruled a backcourt violation, were the officials correct? Yes or no? Yes. Yes, they were. Our officials were correct. This is a backcourt violation by rule, not a play you're going to see every day. Yeah. And then I'm going to go there. Oh, I see. Okay. I'll turn that on. Samuel Miles in the chat. Illegal. Good to see you, Samuel. That's my son's middle name. Ted, I agree with you. Throw-ins, of all the three restarts, throw-ins are by far the most where most activity is occurring, and you will see more unusual things and more things that we have to process. Right during a jump ball, which happens very infrequently, relatively static. We can see things, but they happen so infrequently. During a free throw, basically only one player is playing basketball on the first of multiple free throws. And on the last one, yes, we do have some competitive action. But on a throw-in, everybody's playing basketball. Teams are doing something that they've planned. Things are doing, defenses are responding, etc. It can be high-energy situations. And you will see a myriad of things. You will see dozens and dozens and hundreds of things. And we need to evaluate the legality of what we just saw, right? Player stepping out of bounds during a non-designated spot throw-in, passing between teammates, etc. That's unusual, right? It has occurred. But my counsel is always to everybody is I'm waiting for something to be illegal. is something illegal. I saw this play. It was wild. The player jumped. They batted the ball. It hit another player in the head. Another player, and it was going out of bounds. And another player leaped and threw it back. And it's like this wild sequence occurs during a throw-in. We're waiting for something to be illegal and not respond when something is just unusual, right? So we could say that's going to be illegal, and we may take a moment to process what we've just seen. We've made the evaluation, it's got down to illegal, and then we put a whistle on a play. Maybe it's a bit late, but in that situation, we have what do we have? Permission to use some processing time, get the play right. Just like any backcourt scenario is often going to do that as well. Put us in a position where we need to do some processing. We've made several pieces of evaluation, maybe a second or two late. We come with the violation because that's the correct ruling on the play. And the Zooch has made an appearance. Now we are ready to go. Billy Mack always pushing for the elimination of the jump ball. All right, I want to go here. A1 is making a throw-in along the sideline in Team A's backcourt. A1 makes the throw-in to A2, who's standing in Team A's front court. B2 tips the pass immediately off of the throw. Come on, man. I've asked the same question like 3 times. We are moving on. Wait a minute. Okay. I'm going to go back. How many times can we ask the same question? While making a throw-in from the backcourt, A1 passes the ball directly to A3 in the front court. A3 muffs the ball, and the ball bounces directly into the backcourt, where A4 retrieves. The officials rule a backcourt violation on Team A. Were the officials correct? Yes or no? Simple play, happens a lot. Misconceptions may apply. We can get a play like this wrong. In order to have a backcourt violation, 3 things must be present. Team control on the court. How is team control on the court established during a throw-in? A player holding or dribbling the basketball has established player control on the court. Player control on the court establishes team control on the court. And then after we have team control on the court, we must be last to touch in the front court, first to touch in the back court to have a backcourt violation. In this instance, as in many erroneous rulings on backcourt, we do not have all 3 of those necessary components. We only have 2. We have team control, that during a throw-in there is team control, but only for the administration of fouls. The ball is muffed in the front court. The ball gained front court status, and they were the first to touch in the backcourt. But what's missing is we never had player control on the court, establishing team control on the court. So in this instance, where the officials ruled this to be a backcourt violation, not an uncommon scenario, were the officials correct? No, they were not. This is not a backcourt violation by rule. Legal play, right? Understanding we have to have player control, establishing team control on the court in this situation in order to have a backcourt violation. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. Easy peasy. Oh. White shoes and black sweatpants. Yeah, okay. Oh boy, I'll tell you, my first year, right? So for first year officials, one of the biggest things, one of the huge obstacle we face is just learning where the school is, where the gym is, who our partner is, and managing our stuff, right? We're new to this whole process of bringing this equipment with us, etc. And in one instance for me, early in my first season of officiating basketball, I did not have black socks. I had white socks, and it was so interesting to me. It was like the most embarrassing thing for me to have these white socks, because I know that they're constantly going to be flashing as I run, etc. Yeah, so that was embarrassing. But for young officials, just managing your stuff, because you don't have a lot of stuff, right? You're a 10-year veteran. You've got, many pairs of shoes, many pairs of pants, many pairs of shirts, or many shirts, etc. Lots of equipment, lots of whistles, etc. You're a new official. You have a limited number of stuff. I've got to remember to take all of my stuff with me. I have to remember to collect all of my stuff and take it home with me, and then, manage laundry for a limited amount of stuff and how I'm going to do all that. But for a new official, so much of what you need to accomplish in your first year is just, where's the gym? Where's the venue? Where's the gym? Who's my partner? Working with that partner and managing our stuff. The actual calling of the ball game, yes, we need to do that as well. But a huge thing that we have to get used to as newer officials, just managing our stuff. Ay. So maybe he was your partner was. Billy Mack has 4 elements having a backcourt. There must be team control, player control when coming from a throw-in. The ball must have achieved front court status, and the team control must be the last to touch the ball before it goes into the front court, and the first to touch in the backcourt, I assume, is going to be number 4. And it's often expressed as 4 elements, but if the team in control must be the last to touch the ball before it goes into the backcourt, we have essentially said that they have the last to touch the ball in the front court, or when the ball has front court status. So we have that implied. So I've always just sort of eliminated that step in the equation and broken it down just into 3. But of course, there is a caveat to that I'm not remembering at the moment. But that's what we have. So I've got that. All right, moving on. A1 from her own end line attempts a throw-in to A2, who is standing near the top of the free throw lane. That's a 30. That's 30. I'm taking a 30 on that one. A1 from her own end line attempts a throw-in to A2, who's standing near the top of the free throw line. The top of the free throw line. Who wrote this? Oliver! Jesus Christ. The throw-in pass is high and deflects off A2's hands into Team A's backcourt, where A3 recovers the loose ball and begins dribbling. I hope this was ruled a legal play. Nope. The officials rule a backcourt violation on Team A. Were the officials correct, yes or no? I would certainly hope by this instance we recognize this is a legal play. By rule, common scenario, throw in, deflected, ball into the backcourt. Energy rises from the opponent. Hey, everybody knows that's a backcourt ref. But no, it is not. So in this instance, very simply, were our officials correct? In this instance, no, This is not a backcourt violation. We must establish team control by player control on the court before a backcourt violation can occur. So, in this instance, the crew got it wrong. A play that's very common in the game of basketball. We've got to be able to get this one right. It's really simple and straightforward. See, I did that wrong. I didn't cleanse the screen. We're going back. During a throw-in, A1 passes the ball to A2 in the front court. The ball bounces off A2, hits on the floor in the front court, and then bounces into the back court where the ball is recovered by A2. The officials rule a backcourt violation. Were the officials correct? Yes or no? Why the same play scenario keeps occurring, I do not know, but this is a legal play by rule. And so in this instance, the officials ruled a backcourt violation. Were they correct? No, they were not. Will this question make it to the final edited episode? No, it will not. Oh. A1 passes to A2, who catches the ball with both feet completely in the backcourt. Pivoting on her left foot, A2 then steps completely into the front court with her right foot. She then reverses the process by bringing her right foot completely back into the backcourt. The officials rule a backcourt violation on Team A. Were the officials correct? Yes or no? All right, now we have to understand status. The status of the ball, the status of the player, what has occurred on this play. We have a player who has the ball, has caught the ball. They are in the backcourt. They have backcourt status. The ball has backcourt status. That player then steps one of their feet into the front court. What is the status of the player at that point? We have to know that. We have to know status to adjudicate plays properly in basketball. The status of the player has not changed. A player who is in contact with the backcourt, of course, includes the division line, has backcourt status. The fact that they have stepped one of their feet into the front court does not change the fact that they are in contact with the backcourt. So in this instance, where our player with backcourt status steps into the front court, they still have backcourt status, and never gain front court status and then backcourt status, a necessary sequence. Were the officials in this instance correct? Yes or no? No, they were not. This is a legal play by rule, a simple question of status, and one that we have to get right as basketball officials. I'm going to go there. I'm going to go there. I'm going to make that happen. I can do things. Amazingly, Lance, our crew always seems to struggle on this show. Okay, Mark's asking about a player jumping from the backcourt to front court after the team has front court status, 1 foot, 2 feet, or just needs to be airborne. Okay. Would I don't think that the men's certainly NCAA women would not be different, because it's all a question of player status, and a player's status is defined by where they are or were last in contact with the floor. If a player last contacted the floor in the backcourt, either the court itself or by rule the division line, which is part of the backcourt by rule, that player jumps in the air, they may be 5 feet over the division line above the front court, but what is their status? Their status is backcourt. So if a teammate, after the ball had team control on the court, say threw the ball to them with that backcourt status, and they contacted the ball, they would have had team control on the court, last to touch in the front court, the player who passed the ball, and first to touch in the backcourt, because we have caused the ball to gain backcourt status. So player status, ball status, critical components to what we need as basketball officials. Hope that helps, Mark. Yeah. How can they keep making the same mistake? Oh. I think he's solving. He's not just working on, he's solving a case. The catnip is strong. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, cool. I'll turn that off. Team A is awarded a throw-in near the division line. A1's throwing it. A1 is dribbling in the front court. B1 reaches and deflects the ball, which hits A1's knee and caroms into the backcourt. A1 runs to the backcourt and is the first to touch the ball. The officials give the approved NFHS signal for a deflection and rule this a legal play. Were the officials correct? Yes or no? That is the question, right? This is a scenario that many officials and stakeholders in the game can be confused by, and we could talk about why that may be the case. At other levels, NCAA men's, NBA, the rules in this situation are different. And so people are fans of basketball, they watch basketball, and they know that this play can be ruled as a legal play. But for NFHS basketball rules, we have to look at the fundamental elements of the play. A1 is dribbling in the front court. Do we have team control on the court? Do we have front court status? Yes. Yes, we do. B1 reaches and deflects the ball, which hits A1's knee. A1, therefore, is the last to touch the ball in the front court and the first to touch the ball in the backcourt when they subsequently go retrieve the basketball. This is a backcourt violation by rule. It's very simple and straightforward. Everybody on the offending team is going to say, but he tipped the ball, right? And so thus implying loss of control. But team control does not end on a deflection by a defender. Team control ends in one of three ways. The ball becomes dead, team releases a try, or an opponent gains team control, player control, by holding or dribbling the basketball, and that did not occur on this play. So in this instance where the officials ruled this to be a legal play, were the officials correct? No, they were not. This is a backcourt violation by rule. We can expect energy from the offended team. 99 times out of 100, the coach is going to say or indicate, he deflected the ball, right? But we just have to understand that it's a violation by rule and move forward. Hey, yay. Last to touch, first to touch. It's different in NCAA men's. The deflected ball is considered to be some sort of loose ball scenario, and the deflection allows the offensive team to go retrieve the ball in this situation. And to clarify, it's NCAA men's only. NCAA women, the rule would be the same as in high school. Is this a suggested play scenario? Mark asking, what does a player gain front court status with 1 or 2 feet? Any body part contacting the court. Any body part contacting the court establishes status on the court. Almost always it's going to be a foot, right? 1 foot down in the front court will establish. 1 toe establishes front court status. As long as the other foot, in this instance, would not be touching something else. So a player who's out of bounds can gain inbound status by contacting the court inbounds and not contacting the court out of bounds, right? Let's say I'm a player out of bounds. I'm a thrower. I release the throw-in pass, take 1 step onto the court, and my other foot is still out of bounds. What's my status? Out of bounds. I lift the foot that's out of bounds, and now I'm inbounds, right? I only have 1 foot inbounds, but I have 1 foot in and nothing out. So in this instance, I have gained inbound status, and the exact same concept would apply for the backcourt status and front court status as well. Yay! Wait a minute. I really have not used the sound effects today as I should. Whew. Because I got it all set up. Come on, man. Yep. Wait, is that trolling? Is that trolling, Darwin? I've lost connection. Oh, excellent. Well, all right. So Papa Les brings up, the point of we work, multiple levels, and sort of how that maybe potentially affects how we're going to adjudicate plays on the court. Something you have to be aware as a younger official, if you're working with a partner who works other levels, then maybe they're a collegiate official, maybe they're an NBA official. Probably not. But yeah. We have to be aware of that fact, and we maybe have to really step up I'm going to represent high school rules tonight. And my partner, in a moment of confusion between rule sets, may want to adjudicate a play in a certain fashion, like we're going to shoot the technical foul and then you go to the point of interruption or something like that, which would be NCAA men's rules. and say, no, partner, high school rules. And we could do that in the pregame. And if I'm going to be working with a high school official in my pregame, I'm going to say, I do work other levels. If we get something atypical, something unusual, right? Let's really focus on high school rules. If you think I'm going down the wrong path with the administration of a situation, step up, use your voice, say, hold on just a second. Say words like, by high school rules, or phrases like that, to help slow down the official who may be thinking of a different rule set. Yes. Yeah, the dribbler exception. Gotcha. Okay. I'm there. Hey, next play. While making a throw-in near the 28-foot mark in Team A's front court, A1 passes the ball to A2 in the front court near the division line. The editing process. I want to go here. I want to go here and here. Next play. Okay. Go there. I go there. All right. Let's see what Antonio's got here. Scroll off. Is a team technical and indirect on a coach? Antonio, that's a good question. It's important to understand the penalties for each type of technical foul. There are 5 technical fouls in high school basketball. There are administrative technical fouls. There are team technical fouls, substitute technical fouls, player technical fouls, and bench technical fouls. Bench would include a head coach, technical foul on a head coach. Understanding each of those is critical to getting plays right. So step number 1 is whenever you have a technical foul, don't simply fall into the trap of saying, oh, that's a technical. We have to identify potentially what kind of technical foul it is. Which of those 5 is this, right? We have a team that, Is this an administrative? Because administratives are handled differently. Is this a team, etc.? So to answer your question, a team. So let's just talk about the fundamental concept of what causes a coach to receive an indirect technical foul. A coach is by rule responsible for the behavior of bench personnel. If the behavior of bench personnel rises to the level of a technical foul, the coach is indirectly responsible for that because they are responsible for the behavior of bench personnel. Only in the instance of behavior of bench personnel rising to the level of a technical foul, only in that instance does a head coach receive an indirect technical foul. Only in that instance. So your question here is, we have a team foul. Is that on bench personnel? No, not by rule. So is there an indirect on the head coach? No. The player, there's a problem with the book. There's a player who's not listed in the book, or was not part of the roster that was submitted. Well, the coach submitted the roster, so it's got to be something on the coach, right? No, not by rule. Not by rule. So in your to answer your question very simply, But to answer the original question, yeah. No, a team tactical is not indirect on the head coach. Understanding what is bench personnel has to be involved for an indirect, right? Team members during an intermission by rule are bench personnel, right? So you can get the situation where after the second period, the player thought there should have been a call on a play near the end. They thought they were fouled. Ref, you suck. We administer a technical foul on that individual. It is a player technical on that individual, but by rule, since it was after the end of the period, by rule, they are bench personnel. That is also an indirect on the head coach. So, I'm not sure what that refers to, Joe. We're a little disconnected. Yeah, one of my like the first album I ever owned was my sister gave me the Temptations' Greatest Hits. It was like a 2-record set, and man, did I blow that thing up. I'll tell you that much. On repeat. Okay, I'm going to do some stuff. I got to do some stuff. Let me do some stuff. Well, that's interesting. That's really interesting. Huh. All right. Let me do a quick show wrap here. Thanks for sticking around today. Hope you found value. Take a moment, if you would, like, subscribe, and notify. Helps the channel. Make sure you don't miss out on any of our additional content. Before we go, allow me to thank our tremendous show supporters who help fuel the broadcast. Allow me to thank our tremendous show supporters who help fuel our broadcast. Ay, what am I doing there? Jesus. Allow me a moment to thank our tremendous show supporters. Let's go and check the big board. Jay Severson, Chris Hirano. Ay. Forget it. Oh. Oh, there is chaos in the control room. All right, fantastic. Zach Russell in the house. First high school game tonight. What should I focus on? What should we focus on as a new official? Here's my counsel, Zach, is focus on administering the game, having a great demeanor and presence on the court. Focus on your primary. Call what you know. Call the obvious. And try to know what happens next, right? If your partner makes a call, know what happens next. Are you administering the throw-in? Are they administering the throw-in? That way you can move to where you need to be, right? Really focus on administering the game. By administering the game, what are we doing? We're handling, obviously, the jump ball, the throw-ins, the free throws, doing all of that with great energy for the game, etc., but also recognizing timeout requests by coaches and substitutions. If we recognize every timeout by coaches, we recognize whenever there's substitutions, administer the substitutions properly, start each period properly, administer all the throw-ins properly and the free throws properly, etc., administering the game, then we're in great position as a crew. We're getting plays where there's calls in the game. There was a no call here. Should it have been a violation, etc.? Was it a foul, etc.? All of these things, right? That's sort of supplemental. We want to make great calls. We want to be fantastic. Are we going to get every play right? No, we're not. And just recognize that fact. Also recognizing as a new official where you're at, right? My veteran partner is like a really good official. He's like an 85, 90% call quality, etc., all of the things, rules knowledge, etc. I'm new. I'm learning the rules. I'm learning how to apply the rules, etc. I'm not so good. Maybe I'm a 75% official, a 65% official, but I'm going to be a 65% official down at this end of the court and a 65% official down at this end of the court with my call quality. So it's going to be fair in that instance, right? So I'm going to take to the court, administer the game to the best that I can, know what happens next so I can exude confidence on the court as I move properly to the right position, and I know I'm in the right position, which helps build my confidence, etc., and get looks on plays and do the best you can. That's really all you can do. That's really all you can do. But as a new official, you can really achieve success with all of the extraneous stuff, all the administration stuff, all the knowing what happens next stuff, all the recognizing timeout requests and substitutions, which really, makes things much smoother with coaches, etc. So that is always my recommendation for new officials. And then I'm going to be that 65% official, my call quality. I'm learning how to apply the rules for high school, etc. And I do the game and I learn some things. And so now next game, I'm 68% official. And the next game, I'm 72% official. And I'm getting better. I'm getting better at picking up the pivot foot. I'm getting better at recognizing what is legal guarding position, etc. I'm improving. And I've tried some things and I've had some success and I've learned, maybe that wasn't the best way to do things. And I'm getting better and better and better and better and better. And that's the process we go through, right? And it starts with game one. And here's the fact. Every single official on this live stream today has been in exactly the same position. You can't bypass that step, right? This is just part of the process, man. This is what we've all gone through. And so just embrace the fact that you are there for the game. Keep it safe and fair. Focus on administration, and you will have great success. I'm confident. And let us know in subsequent live streams how it went. Usually the scenario is, oh man, the game just kind of blew up. It seemed like super fast, and I seemed a step behind. I couldn't get comfortable. There were some things that happened, or my partner, sort of got me off on the wrong foot or something like that. But we just worked through those. And in no time, you'll be a crusty old veteran like many on this live stream. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So Billy, also Zach, at the spot of the foul, the spot of the violation, put your voice in the game and slow down. Right? If you are a spot of the foul, you are excellent at the spot of the foul. That is black 5, hand check, sideline. Before we do anything else, most new officials, although it sounds like you have experience, most new officials are running away from the spot. Nobody knows what's going on, etc. So along with know what happens next, communicate what you have so that everybody else knows what happens next. If everybody knows what happens next, the game moves smoothly. If there's confusion, is it their ball? Is it our ball? Am I on defense? Am I telling my team what we're doing on defense, or am I calling a throw-in play, right? Coaches are confused. Players are confused. Last thing that we want. Last thing that we want. Oh, so Chris is pointing to yes, new officials must watch. Mic'd up referee. Talk about communication, but we would also talk at that point about spot of the foul mechanics and using your voice, communicating as well. Spot of the foul, I agree. Don't be in a rush, but of course, if you're a new official, what is your number one attribute? You are in a rush. You're moving too quickly because the game hasn't slowed down. Just recognize, of course, that it will slow down with experience, and leverage the experience you have from doing your youth games, from administering those games as well. I'm making assumptions here. You're obviously not new to officiating basketball, but new to high school. So there can be some administrative stuff like, where do I stand during pregame? How is the pregame conference conducted, etc. What do we do after the conference, and where do we stand? And are there going to be player introductions? And will there be a national anthem? And where do we stand? And when do we take our jacket off? And all that minutia stuff that can be there at the beginning of the game. But once the game starts, then we're looking good. We're looking good. Well, 'tis the season. 'Tis the season for a little nog in the morning. Come on. Oh, okay. All right. So, Zach, that's great. And that's a great piece of information. So you are familiar with high school football. You are familiar with being a high school official, and you can bring a sense of demeanor and confidence to the game, right? Because it's not something, it's like, well, there's people in the stands, it's like, so just leverage your strengths. I know how to administer a game. I know how to manage situations with players and people, that you can bring that experience from football and bring, presence. And that's so valuable, especially as a new official. If we bring a sense of presence to the floor, then the coaches in the game say, okay, all right. If we don't bring that, if we bring an energy that makes people think, wait, I'm nervous because he seems nervous. He seems unsure. That makes me question everything that they do, etc. Right? So bring that demeanor, and you can't go wrong. Is that true? Is that true? Can we not come with information and get a play right? Okay. All right. Well, I've got a full agenda on my plate today. I am going to wrap it up and have to do some things, repair some things in post. That's me. Boom, boom. What do I want to do? I want to go there. I don't know. All right, we'll see everybody on Friday. I'm sure we're going to have great plays. Make it a great day. We're 90 minutes in. I like that. I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to have some more coffee. I'm going to fix some things, some screwed up, and maybe I'll create a show that's just that same play, that throw in that's deflected into the backcourt. That's all it is. It's like 10 versions of that. I think I have that available to me. All right, everybody. I'll see you on Friday.